can't BS a Ranger fan.
This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, remember what's the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, remember what's the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show. Today is Tuesday. It is April the 21st of the year 2020. We have now been in coronavirus lockdown for 17 years. My name is Jim, and as always, I am joined on the other side of the window by the one and only Eddie Geik. Eddie, good evening, sir. How are you?
I hate my cat.
I got a cat story, too.
Yeah, what's going on? Your cat's MIA or something?
No, the cat's been found. The cat's been found. The cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
Emil Francis has been found.
The year of the cat. Yeah, so Sunday morning, I get up, I let the dog out, making breakfast, right? Making French toast for the girls. Now, I let the dog out, and I didn't close the glass door to the patio. I just closed the screen door. This was going to be a nice day, get some air in, whatever. And I'm standing there, I'm cooking, I'm not really paying attention to anything that's going on, and all of a sudden, Linus, the dog, comes trotting in from the deck. Mm-hmm. I'm like, wait a minute, how the hell did that happen? The door was closed. I go, look, the door's wide open. So I look around the house real quick. I don't see the cat. I send the girls downstairs. Now, the cat's gotten out before, but he always comes right back up. He goes to the bottom of the deck. He runs around for a minute, and he comes right back up.
Right.
Well, the girls go to the bottom of the deck. They can't find the cat. No cat.
Oh, boy.
I'm like, all right, we'll eat real quick, and then we'll go out and look for him again. So we eat breakfast. We go out. We're looking for him. Can't find him. I'm standing in the backyard, and on the other side of the fence in our backyard, all of a sudden, here comes the cat. Here comes Peanut just walking along, looking at me like, hey, what's going on? So I call him, and he's coming to me. Tanner sees him. She got all excited. She goes running towards him. She scares the cat. He takes off into the woods. Now we can't find him again.
It's like
we look for him. What's that?
This is like a sitcom.
Right. We look for the cat all day. Jen comes home from work at like 7:30. She goes into the woods. She's looking for the cat. No cat. Before we go to bed, we put the litter box outside. We put the cat food outside. Just hoping that he finds his way home at this point. Monday morning, I get up for work. I go into the kitchen. The first thing I do is I go out and I look at to see if he's on the deck. He's not there. I take a shower. I come out to let Linus out to go to the bathroom, and the cat's sitting on the deck, staring at me, waiting to come in.
Ah!
So the cat came back. He's back. Our whole life is a sitcom, Jen said.
Well, we do got kind of the makings of one.
So all is well. Peanut's home. He had a bath,
the
the whole bit.
The dogs, the cats,
yeah,
whatever else you got going on in there, I don't know.
So,
wow.
How are you enjoying the coronavirus, my friend?
I don't know if you can enjoy this. I don't think anybody's. I mean, it's funny because people who are recluses are like, oh, I'm used to this.
Right.
But it don't work that way, because if you were a recluse, you were different and you were doing something and nobody was doing it. It was like, oh, wow, everybody's busy. I'm glad I stay home. Who needs a busy schedule? I have to be doing things. You get all prideful that you're a recluse and you sit home and you do nothing. But then when everybody else is doing it, it's not so gratifying.
Right.
Now everybody's living your life, and you're like, boy, I'm just one of the crowd.
Right.
And you want to go out now. You were like, I wish there was a party I'd go to. I wouldn't reject it so fast.
We ventured out last night for ice cream to our favorite ice cream place. It was the first time the girls have been out of the house in 4 weeks.
Wow. You're keeping a tight rein. I really respect that. The yokels around me now are adhering to the rules. They finally got it after 700 deaths a day. They finally, maybe we could
They
stop.
drop it like flies in Ronkonkoma, people.
I mean, really. I mean, it's wiped out I mean, it is kind of, except for the elderly. I don't really. The people who get it who don't protect themselves, it's kind of thinning the herd. I mean, just do what you got to do, man. Yeah, it's not very fun. I find again, I have no discipline when it comes to eating, but now I just eat everything. Like Pringles, hey.
Yeah, it's
I'm in the mood
ridiculous.
for I make them decisions. Yeah, I'm in the mood for apple crisp. Let's see if we can find those, or cook those, or make those. I don't know. It
Just
sucks.
eating out of pure boredom.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. What else is fun to do? I mean, it's tough, and it's just tough all over. But and you got no rain. I mean, there's no hockey going on. There's no sports going on. There's nothing to watch.
No nothing.
You just, you find yourself just trying to watch TV. It's so mind numbing. But that's what you got to do. You got to numb the mind to get over this shit.
Right.
So anyway, uh, so I've been trying to keep up what the Rangers have been posting, and mostly what David Quinn has been saying, which I think we all know. Although he did come out and he mentioned somebody differently. He said that if he was interviewed, I don't know if you saw this on NewYorkRangers.com or New York Rangers at NHL.com, and usually says the same things. But he was asked a couple questions I thought you would find interesting. And I don't know if this was by the lovely Miss uh, Jingra. I don't know who actually asked the questions, but I think it was the question I thought. The question I thought was pretty interesting. He said,
Oh, then she didn't ask it.
I think, well, I think it was. It was a softball-y questions
Right.
from the Ranger fan base. Nothing
David,
like
if
here.
you were a tree, what kind of tree could you be?
Yeah, it was almost like that, but it was from the Ranger fans, not like our fans would be like. Could you
Now-
imagine some of the questions people would ask?
Right. Now,
Like-
well, I want to hear this question, but I do want to preface this by saying that my broad got one of those questions on that thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
it was tweeted out by the team, the question, and it was tweeted out by the player that the question referred to. And
I wonder if it's the questions that I highlighted. I thought they were pretty good.
well, which one?
There was one question on who do you think would want to coach the team?
That's the one.
That is an amazing question. And
That-
boy
That's my broad.
was the answer. Wow, that is what do they call that? That's
Something.
genius.
Yeah, it is genius.
I
She
thought-
asks good questions. She's always She tweeted Girardi a couple of questions when he did the questioning. She comes up with good questions, better than
and
I
the
do.
answer was Tony D,
Right? Yeah.
who then would give it up after one game after knowing what a coach goes through. That's a good question, Jeff.
Just further proof of her overall awesomeness.
That's right. Wow.
She's the total package, man. Telling you.
Yeah, let me tell you. That's brilliance.
Yep.
And also, he mentioned something that, and I want to bring this up. He mentioned that Jacob Trouba had really stepped up his game in the last 10 games, which he hasn't really uh, said too much about Trouba's play. I mean, and Philip Hedel, he gives a lot of praise to Philip Hedel. And, uh, you know, thank you. I think that said with a
Sorry, I
very
don't mean to distract you, but
tone,
when
thank
people
you.
are complimenting you, I want you to know it.
Well, thank you. I think it's with a sarcastic tone, though. But I will say this, my friend, that I appreciate it. I know you're a good guy. You actually have flown out from Las Vegas twice, I believe, to our Blue Shirt Underground viewing party.
Yep.
You are what they say a gold member.
Yes. Membership has its privileges.
That's
And
right.
yes, Jen did remind me that that Dan Girardi did answer one of her questions too, but I can't remember what the question was.
Did
He did a
Oh,
Twitter question and answer last week.
um,
Apparently, he has severed ties with the Lightning organization.
really? There's
Yeah.
bad blood?
I don't know if there's bad blood. He's not doing that podcast anymore that he was doing on their website. He's not doing it anymore. And he's packed up and left Florida, and he's moving back to his hometown in Canada or something like that. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but he kind of alluded to during the Q&A that he's going to be involved with the Rangers a little bit. I don't know what he's doing.
That'll be
You
good.
make him a scout. I don't know. Everybody gets to be a scout. You make him director of player personnel or whatever, vice president in charge of industrial procurement.
Whoa, Cutter now going off.
Shut the fuck up, Cutter.
Now Girardi,
Dan Girardi's got more guts
Really
in his
good rate.
in a nut hair than you have in your entire body.
he was a
Regardless of
warrior,
the fact
no
that he
doubt
froze on
about it.
Gabrick.
Undrafted, made his bones.
Matt Morello.
Yes. So that's good for him. Good for him. I got nothing about, there were a couple miscues by Dan Girardi that in my memory, but in most cases he was steady. He took a beating out there. He blocked shots. He was a warrior, this guy. I mean, except for that one time when his deer in the headlights with Gabrick getting pummeled by Daniel Carcillo and it maybe falling down, I think, in the cup.
Yeah.
Him?
Yeah. Game one.
Game one. You were at that game. That's right. I remember.
Yep.
Other than that,
No
I got
regrets. That
nothing
was
but-
money well spent. No regrets.
Oh, you got to see a Stanley Cup game with the Rangers.
Absolutely. It only happens once every 25 years. So
Yeah.
money well spent.
So I have nothing but warm feelings for him. Although, are we still paying the jabroni?
I'm not sure. If it is, it's not much. There can't be much left on that money. He also said his favorite teammate was Callahan, Ryan Callahan. Hands down, he said, my favorite teammate of all time was Ryan Callahan.
Same type of player.
Right.
And
let's not forget when we talk about Dan Girardi, he was undrafted.
Right. I
Undrafted.
said that. And his best friend was the Rochester Rocket, Ryan Callahan.
Ryan Callahan.
And
a Merc.
People turned on him quick. He was very beloved. There were so many Callahan jerseys in Madison Square Garden at one time.
Well, I think there was some bad blood when he left.
I think so. I think
but
I don't think he overvalued himself, and I think he wanted to talk contract, and the people at that time did not want to talk contract at that point. I also Sean McCaff comes in with a bang. Hey, I wanted to ask you, and I wanted to ask the people at home, and I want to say the numbers are staying steady, which is really good because there's no hockey going on, and we're still pulling the numbers that we're kind of accustomed to, which means that I think you guys like us.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it, and I don't know how you're passing the time during this coronavirus, but one of the things that we do is, every Saturday night, I'm a big Jimmy Buffett fan. Every Saturday night, Jimmy Buffett has been running video on his website of an old concert, like a 2-hour show. So every Saturday night, we have dinner, we pop open, a few drinks, we watch Jimmy Buffett. There's a lead singer of a Bruce Springsteen tribute band. Every week he does like an hour on Facebook Live. He does a whole album. And I was thinking, it's great that all these people are doing these kind of things. And then I thought, well, that's I guess that's kind of what we're doing, right? Just something to break up people's monotony. Hopefully they have a few laughs. We all chat, we reminisce, we have fun. We put on funny hats. We make fun of Cutter. Then we go home upstairs.
Oh, I'm glad that we can entertain people.
So I hope that's what we're doing for people.
Yeah. Because we can't talk too much hockey because there's nothing going on.
Right.
After 3/4 of the show is what happened the last 3 days, 3 games, where we're yelling at some guy, screaming at some other dude, and just all this other stuff. I wanted to ask you guys this, and Jim as well. I want your take on it. Welcome, Just Me, who just came into the chat. What do you think the tinfoil hat brigade's most egregious era is? Is it A, Jacob Trouba stinks? 2, Mark Stahl stinks? 3, I think, Jim, I can't think of 3. I should have wrote this down. 3, Henrik Lundqvist deserves his time. I know you're going with that one already. 4, that Ryan Strome is a product of Panarin and should not be resigned. And if there's anything else you could throw in there as well.
Let me think about it for a minute. I'm going to change headsets. This one's just not working for me. Hang on.
Okay.
I'll be right back in a second.
You also could throw in Tony D'Angelo, his off-ice opinions. Well, no, you can't. That's just too crazy. Does anybody else have? I'm not going to throw out the NFL draft. I'd rather freaking be in quarantine. Oh, wait, I am. Everybody said so. I don't know. I think.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. And you actually sound much better. It was that other
Cue
headset.
the echo.
What's that?
Krista Mead said, "Cue the echo," as a referral to last week. He got some good ones in last night, yesterday. We're gonna have to punch him when we see him next.
He's not helping.
Wow, he's a wise ass. That's why I love him. He even got me. He said, "Don't worry, Idiot Box never has over 50 people at their shows either." That was a great one. Got to give him props.
All right, let me just bring the soundboard back up, and then I'm G to G. So okay, so the tinfoil hat brigade. Your questions were the Strome,
Trouba, Stahl, and Henrik, and TDA.
And the question is, which one are they wrong about?
Well, the one that they are most off about, like, what do you think is the most egregious error that they ever made?
Tony D'Angelo.
D'Angelo. Is it just an opinion?
I think the treatment that he's getting from some Ranger fans is just ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Do you think
these morons on Twitter and social media, and I guess it's not just Twitter, but that's where I see most of it. and I tend to just mute these people right out, but
Can't keep them out.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You know, the thing is, and Jonathan Riggs, the Trouba thing, for some reason, Ranger fans think for the price that he has not lived up to expectations. The contract. It's a contract issue.
Well, first of all, Jacob Trouba came here. Jacob Trouba's never been a first line defenseman in his entire career. He's a first line defenseman with the Rangers. They force fed this Brady Shea pairing right up until the trade deadline, and it never worked. It never worked. I thought Trouba was much better with Brendan Smith than he was with Brady Shea. So give Trouba a chance. Give him a chance. Give him another year. He'll be fine.
I think
he's going to be fine.
He's the only guy who lays solid hits.
Yeah.
He stands guys up. You don't
learning a new defensive system.
Oh, let me throw a couple more in there.
All right.
Lindy Ruff. The ruining of Elias Anderson, which Sean McCaff has added. And the Kravtsov situation that when Vitaly went back to Russia, which he should have stayed there since the NHL's, well, I guess the KHL shut down too. But
I think they were ill prepared to draft. I don't think they'd done their homework on Vitaly Kravtsov. I don't think they'd really delved into the mindset of that kid. How is he gonna handle New York? How is he gonna handle everything? Was he prepared? Because I don't think he was.
No, I think
it's almost like they just. I mean, I think he's talented. I think we could all see that. But I think all they did was watch YouTube videos and say, "This is the guy we should draft. Look at these moves." They didn't know anything. I don't think they really got into his psyche. There's a reason. And granted, it's not. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not foolproof, but there's a reason why the NFL puts these draft eligible players, why they put them through the rigors of the combine, these psychological tests, and they do a lot of vetting of these guys. Now, granted, again, it doesn't always work, or sometimes they just ignore the signs. And let's face it, some guys are just assholes in college and they still get drafted in the first round, and then they're assholes in the NFL. So sometimes they just turn a blind eye to it. But, on some of these guys, that's why they do these things. And I don't know how much of that the NHL does, and I don't know if the Rangers do any of it. But I think they handled the Kravtsov situation very badly. And you heard Jillian Kemmerer say it right on this show.
Right. I think that there should be some they should get like a steward or something, like somebody that follows them around and translates what's going to happen, lays out the plan, helps them adapt to the culture. I mean, do we have to rely on these other players to talk Russian, teach them English? Just get them a teacher, get them whatever you got. It's a first-round pick.
Quite honestly, at this point, this team should have a Russian coach on the staff.
They should. They have unlimited capital.
Right. There's no salary cap on your coaches. So what? The guy doesn't have to be behind the bench. He could be in the press box every game. But get me a guy that knows Russian hockey, knows the KHL, knows these players, and knows life in America. What's so hard to do? Why is that so hard to figure out? What are you laughing at?
I don't know. Did anybody hear that volume burst on Jim's side? Was that just me?
I didn't. Oh, I don't know.
Okay. It sounded like you were talking through a subway thing for a second, and then it cleared up.
Oh.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. Sorry I was laughing.
That's all right.
I'm laughing at the comment section. But so yeah, I mean, get him a driver for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I got that Buknevich and Shesterkin running around. driving each other out there in Brighton Beach, slamming into cars. What kind of bullshit is this? Yeah, give Kovalev a job.
But Darius Kasparaitis, he's still hanging around the team. They bring him out for every alumni game.
Bum night still makes me laugh. All right, let's get to this. Yeah, I think Nemchino's working with. Isn't his daughter working with him?
Yeah.
With them? Yeah, Uber. There's a good answer. Z-Man's right. Son of a bitches. Trying to ruin our Rangers. Oh, no. All right. You want to get to the Jeff Gordon?
Sure.
I mean, I could sit here all day and talk about how Don Maloney was one of the really good Rangers that really has kind of slipped past a lot of Ranger fans on how good Don Maloney was as a Ranger. Much better than his brother Dave. Don Maloney, I've been watching some old games, man. He was one of the hardest working guys ever suited for the Rangers. And of course was cast off to Hartford. And then played for the Islanders.
Yeah.
Bigger fucking
kind of reinvented himself late in his career too, Maloney, as kind of more of a checking guy, more of a grinder, after when he was kind of on the downside of his career.
Yeah. Esposito throws the puck into the corner and says, Donnie, fetch. Fetch.
Jim. It's the dean of playoff hockey. Phil Esposito does it again, Jim.
Don Maloney just gave so much effort every night. I was watching game 2 of the Rangers Islanders semifinal in '79, and he was just out working everybody, and he was mixing it up with Gillies, and I mean, he wasn't fighting them, but he was like, he just wouldn't. Roger Grimsby. So props to Don Maloney. Didn't he make some good trades for us or something? He was our assistant GM at one point. Then he went to Phoenix.
Yes.
And I don't know what happened to him. I think he made some good trades for us as a member of the Phoenix team. So
was the architect of the great Derek Morris trade.
Oh. Demo, another guy who was, how could you let him go?
Some of the now that we're doing this on YouTube and people's screen names have changed. I forget sometimes who's who. Who is Just Me 77?
That's Margaret Hurley.
I somehow doubt that.
I'm only kidding.
Yeah, we'll take care of that real quick. I'll just say Donald Trump is the best president this country's ever had. Watch it. She'll throw her computer out the window.
Roy Evans is right. Callie did remind me of Don, the same type of player. Didn't really have the speed. He's more of an assist guy, Maloney, but
Cutter, that's nothing. We have a 22 death shooting spree in Nova Scotia. Cutter obviously missing the joke.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So do we want to get to this Jeff Gordon thing?
Well, why not?
We want to get back into it. Let's
What do you want to talk about? Cats?
No, not really. All right, hold on. Let me
anything bugging you this week? Usually have some pet peeves. People are doing stuff you don't like.
People are always doing stuff I don't like, but No, not really. Ventured out to the store just a couple of times this week, and it's just,
Well,
have
have you noticed that it's like the wild, wild west on the roads now?
yeah,
On the
yeah.
expressways, especially, there's motorcycles just going like 200 miles an hour, passing you. They don't care not. It's like rollerball going out there.
Rollerball.
Everybody's going. It's like there's no law. Like all of a sudden, the cops ain't pulling anybody over. So let's go as fast as we can. I see
And
a lot
Jen
of
was coming home from work the other night. She saw 3 accidents just on the way home. She's only 20 minutes away. Oh yeah, I did want to mention the Brendan Lemieux. He was playing Fortnite on Friday
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
on Twitch. And he was doing it. It's some kind of tournament that he's in with a bunch of other athletes.
Okay.
Like, there were other hockey players playing in this thing, and there were some baseball players, and a couple of soccer players were involved in this. And so yeah, it was fun to watch. And he's teamed up with Jack Roslovich, who we played with in Winnipeg. I guess they're still friends. And he's the guy. I mean, Lemieux is just yelling at him the whole game. What are you doing? What are you doing? No, shoot this guy. You're moving too slow. You got to get over here. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, the whole. I mean, we watched this for almost 2 hours, and he's just yelling at this guy. This poor guy. I mean, it must be really good friends. And Lemieux did win one of the games, and he just went crazy. I mean, he strikes me as he seems like he's a very quiet guy unless he's in competition.
Yeah.
And then he's very vociferous because he talks the whole game. He's, just like he does on the ice, and he's trash talking people, and he's yelling at his teammate, and he's yelling at other people. But when the games are over, he's very reserved. He was talking to people. People were chatting, asking him questions in the Twitch, and he was answering some questions. And somebody asked him if he thinks the season's over, and he says he doesn't have much hope of the season resuming. And he said that right now he just hopes that next year starts on time, which of course wasn't anything anybody wanted to hear, but
I mean, that's really the reality.
That may be the reality of it.
I think that it's the reality. I mean, I just don't see it happening.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good, Sam.
Not looking good.
Oh, Joe, the coronavirus. Can you imagine this discussion? How deep they're going to get our thoughts and prayers, Joe.
Right. Oh, thoughts and prayers. It really puts it into perspective, Sam. That's everybody loves to use that phrase.
Yes.
Really puts it into perspective, Sam.
You got it totally.
These first responders have done a fabulous job, Sam. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous job, Sam.
And our crew.
Right. And I actually caught the coronavirus 3 times during the lockdown. Thanks to my doctor, Bernie Shapiro in Hempstead.
My comb-over also caught it once.
I got the comb-over virus.
Oh my God! I can imagine the patent speech we're gonna get. You caught it perfectly. You call it. It puts everything into perspective.
Right.
Nothing genuine, nothing heartfelt, nothing off the cuff. Just the same robot Sam and Joe.
Just a rehearsed bit.
Yep.
Oh, Sam. A lot of people lost their lives, Sam. Oh, Joe. Joe, the ventilators, Joe. Joe, I had to put a mask over my toupee, Joe. Imagine he's walking around the store, he's got a mask on and then a mask over his head. He'd look like the guys in Weird Science when they try to get Kelly LeBrock out of the machine. Oh, Joe, I was coughing up blood for a month, Joe.
Joe. Imagine being quarantined with Sam Rose. Poor Joe.
I think I can handle being quarantined with Sam. I couldn't handle being quarantined with Joe.
See,
He's
Joe
the most boring person on earth.
No,
Sam's got to have some stories. I think if you get Sam away from, I mean, if you had to be in the same room with Sam with nothing going on, I think Sam would have stories to tell. Joe's got nothing. Oh, you know, Eddie. I went out to that 7-Eleven today, Eddie. It sure was weird, wasn't it? They do a fabulous job in that store, Eddie. They sanitize the Slurpee machine. I'm telling you, you would send your brain skidding across the room on the business end of a bullet 10 minutes after being quarantined with Joe Micheletti.
I'm opposite because Chris the Meat had an experience with Joe Micheletti that made him seem like he was a party animal once he was drunk. Where
so?
Sam Rose and I just think is just Melba toast. He just can't let it loose. I feel that Micheletti I think is very good on the national broadcast. Again, when he's it's the MSG broadcast and he's like he's got to watch everything he says.
He's shackled and drawn.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's stupid. Yeah, I'm like, I can take a little stupid.
Costa, are you kidding? Bill Chadwick would be my first choice.
Yeah.
It'd be booze. It'd be Coke.
Booze, everything. Let me tell you something about the Danny Van Holloman.
I'm not getting any coronavirus. I got so many illegal drugs running through me. That cheeky flu doesn't stand a chance, Jim. Jim.
It's true.
Meanwhile, Joe Catroni's making fun of Jen watching Brendan Lemieux on Fortnite. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's the fact he's playing Fortnite is a little bit. Hey, but as long as what he does, it doesn't matter what you do off the ice to me. Although I had been on. Oh wait, my schnozzle. Wow. So we had a little bit of fun with that. But what Jim said is exactly how he's going to come back with it. This really puts it into perspective. He gets that real serious, somber tone. Like he has emotions.
Like he has emotions. Like he feels.
Like he feels things. Then they'll probably say something about the organization and that the first-class organization took care of their players.
Right.
They checked in with them every day. 3 players a day. Really? What are those coaches doing? Queen is saying they're doing things, Jim. What are they doing?
Joe, I'm taking your temperature before we go on the air.
Yes.
Bend over.
You got what do they call these temperature things? Those temporal thermometers?
Oh, no. Sam's going right to the horse's mouth. He's going rectal. He's gonna have Joe bent over right over the console.
That would be great.
You're gonna feel a little pinch, Joe. Fabulous, Sam. That is just fabulous.
Temperature taking.
99.2.
Then they can go on the air. Oh boy. All right, let's go to this Jeff Gordon thing before we get in.
Before it's 8:30?
What?
Before it's 8:30?
Yeah. All right, there you go.
All right, here it is.
A little TED Talk here with PowerPoint.
We go back to where we left off. I think we left off right here with this trade to the Sharks that they acquired Morgan Barron, who by the way, Larry Brooks today in his Rangers mailbag
His feed bag.
his feed bag, predicted that Morgan Barron will be with the team next year in camp.
Really?
Yes,
Well,
he
what
will
does
sign
that
with the
mean?
Rangers, he said.
A lot of people are in that camp, but they get cut. But
Yeah,
he's
well,
he's
we'll
that
see.
good. He's gonna make the jump.
Well, we'll see. Larry's actually done a pretty good job in this shutdown. He's been kind of doing a write up on each player, but he's also throwing in some good stories about Ranger history and things like that. And I wish he would do more of that. Carp too. I mean, Carp's been doing it as well. I like hearing about that stuff. I mean, we all know every story there is to know about 1994, but Larry did a little thing on Eddie Jockman and the type of player he was, and when he came back with the Red Wings, it was pretty good. It was pretty interesting. All right, where were we? So,
Looks
all
like
right,
Matty Pumps here.
I guess we're going to start with the October 21st, 2017. The Rangers trade Matty Pumple to the Detroit Red Wings and acquire Ryan Sproul, who I believe may have taken 3 shifts as a Ranger.
I like Matty Pumps. I mean, for what he was, I thought he was okay.
Was he the guy that everybody was always raving about his shooting percentage or something? Or was that Brandon Peary? Was that Brandon Peary? I don't remember now. Excuse me.
Brandon Disappeary.
Yeah.
He always shot that guy.
Another guy whose nickname long outlived his Ranger career.
Yes. Certainly.
The only one who hasn't so far is Baba Shampoo. He's the only one who's managed to hang around. All right, so really not much to report in that trade. And then there was the trade of Adam Cracknell for Peter Holland, one of Eddie's favorite players. Eddie,
I had high hope for Peter Holland when he was drafted, I think, by Anaheim, one of those teams out west. And I thought but he's like just an AHLer. That's what he just turned out to be.
You were a big Peter Holland guy. You had his jersey.
No,
tried to get him on the show,
ladies and gentlemen. He's lying.
You tried to get him on the show.
You can say you like one thing about a guy, and it's an albatross around you forever around here.
Oh, that was the other thing. That was the other thing that Larry did was he did an article on one hit wonders, and one of the guys he mentioned was one of our favorite go-to Daniel Ganoz.
Yes, Daniel Ganoz.
10 goals in his first 10 games or something like that, and then never heard from again.
Disappeared into the sunset.
Yep.
All
right. So then we have, let's see, we've moved on to John Albert, acquired from the Washington Capitals for Adam. I don't know if that's Chappie or Chappie or Chapel.
Chappie.
Hello, Chappie.
Hello, governor.
And I defy you to pick either one of these guys out of a lineup. So
we definitely won that trade.
Right. But now we've crossed over. Now we've got the letter goes out. And here and it begins.
All things must go.
Right. Everything. Crazy Jeff's price is so low, he's practically giving these players away.
At prices that are insane.
And the Rangers kick off the rebuild by trading Nick Holden to the Boston Bruins. And this was like the prelim, like the undercard. This was the undercard to the deals with the Bruins. The Rangers acquire Rob O'Gara and a 3rd-round pick, which became Joey Keane, who we will see later on this adventure. Rob O'Gara and Joey Keane for Nick Holden. Rob O'Gara, I do believe, played a couple of games the end of that 2018 season. I know he's another one of your favorites.
He was terrible. He was one of the worst defensemen I've seen in 20 years.
And let's see. I'm not even sure if he is he still in the league? He's out of the league.
He should be. He
I
was
don't-
terrible. He just stood there.
He's inactive. He's listed as inactive, an inactive AHL player.
Yeah. He's on a pause. He was on a pause before all the rest of us.
Right.
Terrible. What I used to call him, what was the policeman from Batman?
Oh, Chief O'Hara.
Yeah, Chief O'Gara. That's what I called him. Guy was terrible.
All right. So what
down
do
the
what do
ring
you think of that deal? Did they get enough?
Of course.
They got enough for Nick Holden. 2 players. They got a pick and a player, neither of which are with the organization anymore. Joey Keane has become Francois Gauthier, or I don't even remember his
Where
first
is
name
Joey
now.
Keane?
Joey Keane was traded to the Carolina Hurricanes for Julian Gauthier.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. I don't know much about Julian Gauthier. Well, no, we saw a little bit of him.
We did see a little bit of it.
Yeah. They want to. The guy played gay. He's definitely. Nick Holden's not even with Boston anymore. He's out in the West somewhere.
Avalanche, maybe? Oh, Vegas.
Vegas.
Nick Holden is now in Vegas.
Nick Holden was a great acquisition for the Rangers. They got a lot of mileage out of that guy.
They did. I think he scored 10 goals his first season as a Ranger and played well.
No, I dig him. Do we get enough? We'll say Francois Gauthier he's a project. He's a big guy. I know you lumped all those big guys we got. They all can't score, but one of them's going to pan out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here, I'm just trying to let me see if I can find something here before we move on. Let's see if I can find it. Nope. Oh, I don't know where it is right now. Okay. Nick Holden also gave birth to one of our favorites, Sam Rosencalls, what he calls him Hollenstadt. But I don't seem to have that one handy. All right. So back to the trades. Now this is now we're into the rebuild now. So the next person to go, the next thing sold at the Rangers garage sale was Michael Grabner. Traded to the New Jersey Devils in a rare trade between these two teams. And the Rangers acquired Igor Rykov, defenseman, and a second-round pick. And the second-round pick became Jonathan Tykonik. I don't know if I say that right. Who I think the Rangers then turned around and traded this pick to Ottawa with something. Yes, that pick went. They took that second-round pick and traded it to Ottawa when the Rangers moved up in the first round to draft Keandre Miller. So where you see that second-round pick, New Jersey, number 48, that pick was actually made by Ottawa.
So the Rangers could move up and get Keandre
Miller, absolutely.
I mean, this is a steal and a half. Rykov is highly touted, maybe ready to play soon. They move up, they get Keandre Miller, and at that time when Miller was drafted, it was a little bit of a risk because he had played forward. Then he had a really good year. I heard that he wasn't playing as well towards the end of the college season, but he certainly has the potential to be big time in this organization. And Grabner, they had him, and it was over. He was gone. He was a free agent, I think, at the end of that year. They got him rental, and look what the Rangers got.
Right, and the Devils got absolutely nothing out of him, and I believe we're out in the first round of the playoffs that year.
Probably, I they didn't get.
Now, okay, so this next trade, this is a big one. This is the Rick Nash deal. Now, there's a lot of moving parts in this deal. So the Rangers trade trade Rick Nash to the Boston Bruins. And the Rangers get back Matt Bolesky, which was partly right to take on his contract. The Rangers also get Ryan Spooner. The Rangers get Ryan Lindgren, who was Boston's second round pick the previous year, I believe. And then they get Boston's first round pick and Boston's seventh round pick. Now, that first round pick was included. If you look up here, the first round pick was included in the deal. That's the first round pick the Rangers sent to Ottawa in order to draft Keandre Miller. So they used the first round pick from this deal and the second round pick in the Devils deal, and that enabled them to move up 4 slots and choose Keandre Miller.
People were very pissed that the Rangers traded that pick at the time.
Yes. The 7th round pick wound up getting traded to Carolina, and the Rangers acquired the Rangers acquired a 7th round pick from Carolina. Oh, no, excuse me. Wait, do I have that right? 2000. Yes. They swapped 7th round picks, and Carolina actually wound up using that Boston pick for Massimo Rizzo, who we discussed previously. Ratso Rizzo, yes. So a good deal. I mean, that's a really good deal. Like I said at the time, the Rangers got 5 players at the time for Rick Nash, who for nothing, because Rick Nash played for the Bruins for 2 weeks before he got hurt.
Yep, we got concussed, I believe.
And the Rangers found their number one. I mean, if you think about it, this deal brought the Rangers one of their top line defensemen, and then they traded Ryan Spooner and found currently their second line center.
The good Ryan Strome.
Ryan Strome. I mean, that's a fantastic deal. No matter what winds up happening with Ryan Strome, that's a fantastic deal.
Yep.
Because either Ryan Strome will be re-signed and he plays and he can continue to play with Panarin, or they will find a way to move him and they'll get something back for him. But if Ryan Lindgren, if he's as good as we think he's going to be, if he's as good as he's looked,
coach praises him every time.
Yeah, players love him. So I mean, he's tough as they come, and he's paired up well with Adam Fox. So no, how can you complain about that? Now, this next deal has become a bit of a sore spot.
Yeah, I've seen
and this is the Rangers trading Ryan Graves to the Colorado Avalanche for Chris Bigras. Bigras. And Chris Bigras is now a Flyer. He didn't last long with the Rangers. And Ryan Graves is with the Avalanche and playing very well. I think he was the plus-minus leader in the league or something like that. Did I see that among defensemen? Something like that?
No, he's plus 40-something. Go back.
Yeah. Is that screen showing up? Oh, good. Yeah, he's plus 40, 9 goals, 17 assists.
And he played second line D.
Yeah, he's a left defenseman. So, that
I would say that the Rangers, he had bounced. How long was he in the Rangers organization?
3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and the stats aren't really. Well, I guess the stats early on, but I don't know.
You could probably pin this a little bit on AV if you want to.
Okay.
I mean, the numbers, he's putting up decent numbers for a young guy in Hartford and never gets a call up, never gets this guy doesn't even get a sniff.
That's true. And defensive learning curve is a lot longer.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they lost on that trade. That's the basic. I mean, listen, that's what happened.
Right. And,
they do have a lot of defensemen. It's not like I know he's a left-handed defenseman, but the Rangers right now are log jam with defensemen and prospects. So it's not as glaring, say, if it was a center iceman that turned out to be, you know, doing well. But I think it's definitely a loser.
Yeah, and I mean, you're not gonna win every trade outright.
Right.
Just like you don't win every game, you don't win every trade. You're gonna lose some. That's just the nature of the beast. But what are you gonna do? You know, it's all about team fit. You do what you think is right, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. So here's the big one. Here's the big one.
This one hurt.
This was a tough trade. The Rangers traded Ryan McDonough and JT Miller for Vlad Nemestikov, Brett Howden, Libor Hayek, Tampa Bay's first round pick, which they have turned into Nils Lundqvist, a second round pick. It was conditional on Tampa winning the cup or not, so it became a second round pick. And the Rangers took, I have this right, this is one of their picks, right? Carl Henriksen.
Mm-hmm.
Center, a left-handed center, Swedish center. So I think a lot of people feel like the Rangers didn't get enough in this deal. But I think if you consider the fact that the Rangers were looking to move over $7.5 million in salary, and they did get a couple of young players back who were NHL ready, I don't think they did it. I don't think they did as bad as some other people think. A lot of people think they got hosed on this trade. I don't think so.
Well, let me ask you and the people, the thousands at home, wasn't this a salary? Wasn't McDonough due for a new salary? And the same thing with JT Miller. Was that one of the impetuses for this trade?
Let's look. I think McDonough was a year away from free agency when they traded him, right? I think.
I'm looking.
Because it looks like he's got a new deal for 1920. So he was traded in 2018. So he was 17, 18, 18, 19, and then he had 1 year left until he hit free agency. And I think JT Miller, JT Miller was going to be a free agent. JT Miller has since been traded to the Vancouver Canucks, where he was playing very well.
Having a great year.
Yeah, 27 goals, 45 assists.
That's sick. JT Miller was a good player. I'd say but he could never be consistent with the Rangers. He could never find that consistent vibe. But he was good. You know, as John Tortorella said, he had a lot of cowboy in him.
Yes. So what do you think about that deal? Did the Rangers get enough? Did they not? You still don't like that deal?
I don't like it. I was a big Ryan McDonough fan, and I feel like, I mean, we were put on notice that they were going to do that, but that one was excruciating because although I think McDonough, if we're going to be honest, McDonough hadn't played like up to that level that he was playing at.
Right.
And JT Miller was kind of an enigma, but it hurt. I don't know. It depends on. I haven't been too impressed with Hayek as much as I've seen him. Brett Howden to me is just. I don't know. I know they want workers, and you have to have the worker bees, but he just. I haven't grown. But they did get Nils Lundqvist, who everybody's talking about.
Well, you're raving about Nils Lundqvist.
Yes. So it's a wait and see, but at the time I was pretty devastated. I know people, once McDonough got traded, they stopped watching. And JT Miller, because we got used to these guys year after year going to the cup with them, and the big, a lot of people's hearts were broken. I don't blame them, but you can't give up on the team. They were making hard decisions. Sometimes you got to cut these guys something loose.
Right.
You know? So it'll be controversial until we find out how time elapses. and how good Hayek's going to be and how good Lundqvist is going to be. Lundqvist. You love Howden, Joe Catroni?
Yeah, he's a big Howden guy.
Really?
I like Brett Howden, but I guess I mean if you look at it from the aspect that they traded their top defenseman and their captain and a second line guy, maybe second to third line guy, and all they got, they got a couple of third line guys and then some prospects, one of which who isn't even with the team anymore. Vlad Domestikov has moved on twice since that
Twice
trade.
removed.
Right. So, I guess you got to wait and see how Lundqvist pans out, how Henriksen pans out, and how Hayek. To me, that's an incomplete deal at this point because we've got three guys that we really don't know how they're gonna pan out yet. I think Howden's a bottom six guy, and yeah, you do need those type of guys. I mean, how many bottom six guys have the Rangers had as young players and given up on, and the guys wound up having 15-year careers?
Yeah, that's true.
Malhotra and Dominic Moore are the two that come to mind.
Dale Weisey.
Dale Weisey. Dale Weisey.
Dale Weisey.
Well, of course, that goes without saying, Howie. Everybody comes back and scores against the Rangers. Every one of them.
Well, Vlad's on the Avalanche too now, I think, and he's doing pretty well over there.
I believe you are correct, yes.
And you remember when Vlad came to the Rangers, he had like 20 goals or something because he was playing with Stamkos and Kucherov.
Right.
And that ended pretty quickly. But you liked Nemchinov. I didn't mind him.
He had 13 goals with Ottawa in 54 games, then was traded to Colorado and had 4 goals in 9 games. So, yeah. Nemestikov, he's going to wind up being a guy that probably plays for 12 teams before it's all done. All right. So you're not happy with the McDonough deal 2 years later.
Yeah, but we got to wait.
Right. So, okay, so the next deal is just a draft pick swap here. The Rangers moving up from the 26th pick they acquired from Boston for Rick Nash. They trade that and the second round pick they got from the Devils, and they move up 4 slots. Now, I know they have Keandre Miller. I know they're very excited about Keandre Miller. Everybody loves him. We've heard nothing but good things. That sounds like a lot to give up to move up 4 slots, though. So this guy better be really good. Don't you think? That's a lot to give up to move up 4. I mean, they only moved up 4 slots.
4 slots. Like, we have to have this guy. He cannot escape us.
Right. I mean, you're right. This was a guy they oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, like you said, yeah, this was a guy they obviously, they had to have this guy. So he was worth moving up. I just think that's a lot to pay. Sorry.
Yes.
Show what I shared on Twitter. Okay. All right.
Now, Jen said she's got some video or something.
Yeah, she posted. She's got Lemieux video from Twitch. I'll pull up in a few minutes for us. Okay. So the next deal is, again, this is just a pick swap. Rangers trade they trade their 2019 7th round pick, and they acquire a 2018 7th round pick from Vegas, and they pick up Riley Hughes. Riley Hughes is a guy, he's still in the system. He's playing college hockey at Northeastern University. Can't say I've heard much about him. So it's just as far as I'm concerned, it's just a pick swap.
In the biz, we call that a nothing trade.
Now here's another trade with Boston. The Rangers acquire Adam McQuaid.
Oh, you love this guy. because he was a right-handed defenseman. You're like, Ed, do you know what you can get for a right-handed defenseman?
And they did flip him for more picks. The Rangers traded Steven Kampfer, the happy Kampfer, Kampfonique, a 4th-round pick and a 7th-round pick to acquire Adam McQuaid. And then, McQuaid did give him some games. I think he played 50 games, probably about 50 games, 36 games. And then he was moved to Columbus as part of the ongoing rebuild.
Yeah, McQuaid he was a little bit, he had a little snarl, a little bit, but he wasn't a goal scorer.
Right. And now here's a big one.
A big time.
Big trade. Rangers acquire Ryan Strome from the Edmonton Oilers for Ryan Spooner. Now, last I heard, isn't Ryan Spooner playing in some Eskimo beer league? Right?
Yeah.
Inactive. NLA.
Wow. He's on another pause. Menopause.
Last played with Lugano of the Swiss Cup.
Captain Lou Lugano.
Wow, Captain Lou.
Captain Lou in Alabama. That was sheer robbery.
An absolute heist. An absolute heist.
I mean,
let me see if she.
Strome was really struggling big time with Edmonton. He was out of the loop. I think he was a healthy scratch over there. And the guy is such a vocal guy. I don't know. Edmonton always seems to have some kind of issue. I don't know. How do you have all those good guys, but you struggle a lot of the times? They got like a first line, and that's it.
Okay. Matt Morello. Spooner is playing NHL 96 with Cutter in the detox room. That's great. Liam Scott, one of the zillion Ranger blogs, says his numbers are not of a future top defenseman, but I'm not sure who he's talking about.
I think he was talking about Keanu.
Yeah. I see. I missed this. There's a whole thing here about Cutter views Miller as the next wave for colored folk. Okay. All right. Anyway, so next on the list here, let's see. Ryan Spooner,
Brickley trick.
The Connor Brickley trade.
I think we actually saw him. He played a couple games.
He did. He played. What did they wind up getting out of him? 14 games.
Yeah.
And then 13 in Hartford. And he's another one. Now with EC Russ Salzburg in the EBEL. The Austrian league. Oh, he's staying at Steve Vogel's house over there in Austria. living with Steve Vogel.
Steve Vogel got that Elias Anderson jersey.
Right.
What he went through to get that jersey, and the guy just leaves.
Right. So Connor Brickley acquired for Cole Schneider, and they're in the Rangers trade. Let's see. Here's another one. They get a 7th-round pick for Cody McLeod. Probably, I don't know.
Remember Cody McLeod? I think they played Nashville, like one of his first or second games back.
Yes.
And the Rangers were getting beaten up, and he refused to go with a former teammate or something. There was something with that.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. He wouldn't fight any of his old.
Yeah.
He wouldn't fight his old teammates. He should have been given the Stefan Quintal treatment right after that.
Exactly.
You're either with us or you're against us.
Yeah. What a bum.
Right. Yeah, he should have been given the Stefan Quintal treatment right then and there. So the Rangers acquire a 7th-round pick from Vancouver from Marek Mazanik.
Yeah, I take that for my gout. Mazanik.
Goaltender. And let's face it, goaltenders they have no chance in this organization anymore.
No, we got a lot of studs now.
Yeah. And he is now in some Czech league. And the Rangers took that seventh. I don't know what the 7th round pick is this year. 2020 7th round pick.
2020.
Yet to be determined what they do with that pick. And then the Black Monday, as Eddie likes to refer to it, when Peter Holland was traded to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Sad day. A day that will live in infamy.
You were sitting shiver after this one.
Yes.
The Rangers acquired
the Radish man,
Darren Radish, who is still with the Hartford Wolfpack.
Stats.
Serviceable defenseman. He's playing well.
Bad. What is he, a forward?
Playing down. He's been playing well down there. Right-handed defenseman.
Stats?
No, not at all. Not at all. So I don't know what the future holds for him.
It's already a win.
It's already a win for Peter Holland. Here's another big one. Here's another big one. This was a dagger in the fan base right here.
But they quickly got over it.
Yeah, they seem to they recovered pretty quickly after this one. This isn't like the Jean Rattel deal that they'll be talking about 45 years from now. Yeah, they got over this one really quick.
But nobody talks about it, and he's not doing good with the Wild.
Yeah, I think that was because, he was just a rental for Dallas. There was no success there. And now he's with the Wild.
Hurt.
And
he got hurt over there. And I think they liked him, but then he was due for a salary bump.
Right.
And they were like, he wanted to go where the highest bidder was. And the Frodo from Moto hasn't been doing too well over there in Minnesota. I mean, certainly he was I know you guys always thought he was overrated, but he was a good Ranger.
15 goals, 22 assists for the Minnesota Wild in 65 games.
That's not too bad. But
not bad.
Not bad, but what's he making now? What does it matter? $5 million. That's all right. That's all right.
$6 million.
$6 million.
Zuccarello, $6 million.
We love him. He passes too much. I miss him in the shootout.
We're all gonna cheer when he passes that puck. Those aren't boos, Joe. All right, so the Rangers trade Matt Zuccarello Austin, as he's known.
Yes.
To the Dallas Stars. The Rangers acquired. You all right? He's getting corona.
No, I'm all right.
All right.
It's getting a little choked up about Zucchi.
But Zuccarello still hurts.
Yeah, it still hurts.
All right. So they trade Zuccarello. They get a 2019 conditional second round pick, which, let me see, that would have been a first round pick if Dallas advanced to the third round of the 2019 NHL playoffs. So, of course, we were all rooting for Dallas, but it didn't happen. So it became a second round pick, which the Rangers drafted Matthew Robertson, who is one of 97 defensemen the Rangers are very high on in their system. The Rangers have enough defensemen to make a football defense.
Yes, they are going to win with defense.
Yes.
They can
win championships. And a 2020 conditional third round pick, which would have been the second round pick would have been a 2020 first round pick if Dallas had re-signed Zuccarello. This deal was very convoluted, but obviously Dallas did not re-sign Zuccarello, so that was a third round pick this year that the Rangers obviously have not used yet. Did they get enough for Zuccarello, Eddie?
Yes, certainly. He was a rental. They had this. They're cutting salary. They're getting rid of. They didn't win with these guys. This is one of my crucial points. Is You got to the promised land. You got to the Stanley Cup with this guy, but they couldn't get it done. So you can't just keep him around for 5 years because it feels good. You got to cut bait and you got to retool. And this is what Jeff Gorton is doing. I mean, like you said, Jim, I mean, you don't win every trade, but there's some big time wins here that are organizational changing. And a lot of it is responsible for the Rangers' success this year, which, granted, they're out of the playoffs right now as it stands, but they certainly have been more. I think they've been better than any of us thought, and definitely more game. And certainly they put the effort in most nights.
Yeah, I think they've put together a team and pipeline that gives us reason to be excited for the future.
Right. And
which is something we're not used to.
Right. And Howie, you're right. The fan base didn't feel the way when they traded Frodo away, but I think they got over it fairly quickly. Especially when you get new young guys and then you get excited about them.
There's always a new toy to love.
Right.
Soon Henrik will go, and then the love fest will be on for Igor. Even more so than it already is. Fan base will move on.
Yep.
All right. So next, this was another big trade. This is one of the last. Yeah, I mean, this is well, I guess you could kind of count the Brady. I don't know. You count the Brady Shea trade, maybe, but this was really the last of the tearing down of the old roster, pretty much. And the Rangers traded Kevin Hayes to the Atlanta Thrashers for
again a guy who was coming up for a contract,
right? And again, a guy who turned out to be a rental,
right?
And they acquired Brendan Lemieux, a first-round pick, which the first-round pick then was traded back to Winnipeg for Jacob Trouba, if I remember that correctly. Where is it? Right above. Yes, they traded the pick right back to Winnipeg to get Jacob Trouba. A 2022 conditional fourth-round pick, which the pick transfers to the Rangers only if Winnipeg wins the 2018-19 Stanley Cup. Well, obviously, that didn't happen. So basically, that trade boils down to I guess it's Kevin Hayes for Brendan Lemieux and Jacob Trouba.
Yeah.
Oh, no, excuse me. Kevin Hayes and Neil Pionk for Brendan Lemieux and Jacob Trouba.
Now, Neil Pionk's having a pretty good year with Winnipeg, and Kevin Hayes is having Kevin Hayes is having a good year with the Flyers. I think he has like 4 or 5 short-handed goals this year. I mean, he gets a lot of money, but
23 goals, 18 assists.
He's got like 4 or 5. I mean, that's pretty good for him.
I think a lot of Ranger fans feel like they goofed on this one.
But it wound up with Trouba, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of love out there for Neil Pionk, but he was not good defensively. I agree with Jonathan Riggs. I think he's done much better. I thought he was an AHL. He's prospered in that environment. But the Rangers, again, they have a lot of plus. They have a lot. Kevin Hayes going. But you got Brendan Lemieux, who's quite entertaining and quite gritty. And you got Trouba. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It certainly wasn't a steal, but
I think when you look at it as the 2 players they gave up for the 2 players they got, I think the trade's pretty even.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think we saw both sides of Kevin Hayes. So we knew what Kevin Hayes was. They weren't going to pay him all that money. He wasn't going to be a building block moving forward.
He really wasn't a favorite of ours either.
I liked him. I didn't love him.
Yeah, he was kind of dopey. Like,
Yeah.
he was a mouth breather on the ice. To be perfectly frank, he was Kevin Purple Haze,
Right.
to call him.
So, all right.
Yeah.
So I mean, in my mind, they probably broke even on that deal.
Okay.
I know. What do you think?
I'm with you on that. I think Trouba once the I think Trouba's going to be a bigger asset once the Rangers really get good, and they have the weapons and Adam Fox and D'Angelo. I mean, if they can re-sign D'Angelo, and they're going to have a formidable defense, and they just have a couple players to get, I think, in the forward department. We got to see how these guys develop too. I think when the Rangers went on a pretty good winning streak there once Shesterkin came in. And when he got hurt, they didn't fare that as well.
Right.
And then he came back, and he got shelled. But
Right.
when the Rangers get good, they're going to have this is a wait and see. I still got to wait for Neil Pionk to do it 2 years in a row.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a wait and see. It's even.
Okay. So here's a Rangers trade Adam McQuaid to the Blue Jackets. They the Rangers acquire Julius Bergman. Wasn't he was he a movie star or something in the 50s? Julius LaRosa.
Julius LaRosa, he was yes, it was on the Arthur Godfrey show.
Right.
Well, he was a singer, Julius LaRosa.
And
The I-Tides love Julius LaRosa in New York, by the way.
Of course. Of course. The
Terry's grandfather loved Julius LaRosa.
All right. And then they also acquire a 4th-round pick, which they used on Hunter Skinner.
Great name.
Great name. And the Rangers are pretty excited about him. Another right defenseman in the stable of 97 defensemen. And then the other pick was used on Eric Ciccolini.
Oh, Jimmy!
Hey. We got the defenseman. Boppity boopy boppy boop. Anyway, he's a right winger, and he is at the University of Michigan.
The Ciccolini crime family.
Yes, yes. All right. Now, here's another big trade the Rangers made. Rangers acquire Adam Fox, and quite frankly, I don't care what they gave up. It wasn't enough.
Steal.
It's a steal. 2 second-round picks.
Extraordinary magnitude.
Yes. 2 second-round picks. The 2020 pick was a conditional pick. Would have been a 3rd-rounder if Adam Fox did not play 30 games. Obviously, it's now been upgraded to a 2nd-round pick. So for 2 second-round picks, the Rangers have Adam Fox, and I don't think I can't imagine why anybody would say that wasn't a fantastic deal.
Wow. Adam Fox's hockey IQ is off the charts. What a surprise.
Yes. He's a revelation like Joel Erskine.
Like Joel Erskine. A revelation. Very good, Jim.
Let's see. All right. We already talked about the Trouba deal. We kind of lumped that in with the Kevin Hayes deal. Next, Jimmy Vesey goes to the Buffalo Sabres
this trade
for a 3rd-round pick. You don't like this one. They didn't get much for Vesey.
Jimmy Vesey has done nothing with Buffalo, okay? So maybe it's me. I thought Jimmy Vesey was better. Look at his stats. First 3 years, 16 goals, 17 goals, 17 goals.
Right.
All right. His assist totals aren't that great, but the Rangers were so squeezed at the cap at this point, they were cutting anybody for $1 million. What was this guy making? If he was making $2 million,
2.5, 2.275 actually.
Yeah, I mean, this you're getting 16 goals out of a $2 million guy. I mean, I know he missed a lot of chances, but I like the kid. I really liked him, but he ain't proving me right in Buffalo.
I just think Jimmy Vesey, he's 26 years old. They knew what he was going to be, and I again, kind of like Kevin Hayes, not a guy. He's not a guy they're going to build around, or he wasn't going to be part of the rebuild. They probably could have gotten something a little better for him, but what are you going to do? Like we said, you don't win every trade.
Sean McCaff raises a good question. Would Vesey have better numbers to be playing with Panarin this year? I think so. I think anybody plays Panarin have better.
Pretty sure I could get 15 goals playing with Panarin.
And Vesey wasn't a small guy, but I think the hype about him really skewed your view of what he really was. A lot of Ranger fans, because he came in with such hype and he was so sought after, and so yeah. And Sean brings up wasn't that that broad from the one who played
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie was even courting him to play with the Rangers.
Right.
So sign with the Rangers rather. So
yeah, it was an awful big push to sign a 20-goal scorer.
Yes, it was, but I don't know.
I mean, if that's the case, then Panarin should have the keys to the city. They should rename the George Washington Bridge after him.
But maybe, this is just conjecture. Maybe Vesey wasn't a favorite of Quinn's.
Entirely possible. Entirely possible. All right, so moving on. This was a trade the Rangers made right after the season started. The Rangers send Vlad Nemestikov to the Ottawa Senators for Nick Ebert, who I believe is another defenseman, 25 years old.
Why do they draft centers, these idiots?
This guy's just going to
trade for them.
This guy's just AHL depth. I mean, look at it. He's just a career AHLer. So, did they? That was just get his salary off the books. That's what that was all about. They gave Nemestikov the $3 million contract. The Rangers retained, I think, looks like $750,000 of the salary. They just wanted to get him off the books. And that's what that was all about.
The trade didn't make a lot of sense, really, at the time. But they're so strapped for cash at this point.
Right.
They have to sign all these guys. They had to get D'Angelo signed. Lemieux. Okay.
Is Mike Harmon still in the chat? I don't know if he's still here. Mike Harmon, Nevada schools canceled the rest of the year. That's of interest too.
Wow, Nevada is close. It was Nevada.
Mike and I. Nevada.
Sorry.
I don't know. Nevada, whatever. Vegas.
Lovato.
Vegas wants the casinos open next month.
Wow.
They're dying. Imagine how much money they're losing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but how much money they made?
Right. All right. Next is the Joey Keane. Carolina acquires Joey Keane. The Rangers acquire Julien Gauthier.
Dick Gauthier.
This was kind of a numbers game for Joey Keane. He's just another right defenseman, and the Rangers are stacked. And the Rangers were kind of looking for another winger. Gauthier was a guy who wasn't getting a chance with Carolina. We all like the way he skates for a big guy. He's kind of Kreider-esque. And maybe someday we'll see him score a goal.
How dare you, sir?
Hey, the numbers don't lie.
What?
That's what Russ Cohen used to tell us.
What? He's got no goals in 17.
Right. No goals.
Worry about
no goals.
Stats. 26 goals in 44 games at the Wolf.
Charlotte Checkers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's an AHL.
I'm
He's
sorry.
very successful at the AHL level. Now it just needs to bring it to the
Chubby checkers.
right. The chubby checkers. I'm waiting for you to say he's like Vinny Lettieri. Scores 100 goals in the AHL and 2 assists in the NHL.
Yeah.
Just wait
I
till
still like what I see from the kid.
who, Lettieri?
No. He's had enough NHL time.
The next trade is the Rangers acquired Jean-Francois Berube from the Flyers for future considerations.
Isn't the goaltender that used to be with the Islanders?
I believe so. I think there is
stinks.
there seems to be some school of thought that this guy was acquired merely to be left unprotected for the expansion draft. Yes, did play a little bit with the Islanders,
Save.
Blackhawks, Blue Jackets.
884.
Been around.
Yeah, he stinks.
Oh, look, he's got no future with the Rangers. None.
That's true.
So that seems to be a lot of speculation that he's here merely to be left unprotected for the expansion draft.
Oh, okay.
So
Great trade.
like Kay Whitmore. Isn't that why the Rangers acquired Kay Whitmore way back when?
Yes, I
Just to
remember
leave him unprotected. That's a long time ago, so I could be wrong about that, but that's how I remember it anyway. And then the last trade of the Jeff Gorton era so far. Carolina Hurricanes acquire Brady Shea. The Rangers done. And the Rangers got a first-round pick for him. They didn't need any money. And that's it. First-round pick for Brady Shea.
I mean, Brady Shea was not playing well at all. And that
we never saw a progression in his game.
I know that Mrs. Shattenkirk loved him, but he was getting on my nerves. He certainly was not playing well, and a big salary dump, and the Rangers are going to get a first-round pick for it. So I think it's Phantasmo trade.
There you have it.
We did it.
We did it. We have completed
Part 2 of the Jeff Gorton
era. Now what? Now I don't know what we talk about next week.
Oh, don't worry.
Next week we go shift by shift of the David Quinn era.
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at this Brendan Lemieux thing, and then I have something I want to discuss with the Underground. Actually, I have 2 things I want to talk to the Underground about.
Oh, I'm excited.
And let's see. Let's give this the solo treatment. And let's see. Judging by his reaction, what Brendan Lemieux just did in this Twitch Super Games practice round is the equivalent of scoring a goal tomorrow night. He and Takata TV, I don't know who that is, are competing for a lot of money that goes right to COVID relief. Start rooting for them. What was neat was when he did this thing the other day when he's playing, he's raising money that gets donated for COVID relief, right? So I made a donation, and in my bank account it now says donation to Brendan Lemieux.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's how it actually came up, which I thought was neat.
You should
All
send
right,
him money for every goal he gets. Don't worry, it won't be much.
Right. He went there, folks. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's better.
Well, let me just say, I gotta say something, Jim.
All right.
Why is his shirt unbuttoned?
Why is his shirt
unbuttoned? Of Willie Huber, the Bill Chadwick show. When I pranked the Bill Chadwick show, when he had his shirt unbuttoned on TV, I'd be all over that. I know the ladies love it, but really, you're playing a fucking Fortnite, which like 13-year-olds play. You're all decked out. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna shut up. Show me what you got to show me.
I will say that I just wanted the questions that he was getting asked in the chat room were pretty funny. There was somebody asked him how big is Hank's wrench, and then there were quite a few questions that wanted to know about Max Domi's sister.
Oh. Oh,
because that is the rumor.
really? There
So
was some chirping about that. I remember when they played Montreal.
yes. All right, so let's watch this. It's 22 seconds.
Let me hit this snipe. Don't jump out. Don't jump out. Let's try to hit him.
All right, you got this.
Oh! Let's go!
I'm going down. I'm going down.
Woo! Clip it! Clip it, chat! Wow. Let me hit this snipe. Don't jump out. Don't jump out. Let's try to hit him.
All right, you got this.
Oh! Let's go!
I'm going down. I'm going down.
Woo!
So there you go.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Brendan Lemieux.
Hey, listen.
That was basically his reaction when he won the one game that we watched the other night. He was yelling, screaming, and then his sister and his girlfriend showed up. They were on camera for a second with him. And his sister looks exactly like Papa Claude.
Who's Papa Claude?
Claude Lemieux.
Oh, Papa Claude. Okay.
Right.
I don't know why. For some reason.
He's baby Claude.
Oh, he's baby Claude. Okay.
Come on, baby Claude.
Smurf. Yeah. Yeah, he looked good. And Quinn has said he's the most, obviously, he's the most, you can't shut him up ever.
Right.
But you say, yeah.
So speaking of Twitch, it was suggested to me by Joe Catroni said Bill Cosby wouldn't wear that shirt. Bill Cosby don't wear them sweaters. It was suggested to me by the great Mario Morgado that we try and organize an NHL 20 tournament just in our group or our fans, whatever. They could play NHL 20 on Twitch, and then we stream it on Twitch, and you and I do play-by-play for this tournament. And it could be fun, but I don't know enough about Twitch to know, can that be done? How does it? I don't know. Can it be done? Can we both be on camera and watch these games and call it? Is it possible to stream somebody else's game? Do I do it over the computer? Do I do it over my Xbox? I have no idea how that works.
Right.
So I'm hoping that, I know we have a lot of gamers out there. I'm hoping that somebody knows enough about Twitch that maybe they could answer these questions for me. I know we have a lot of people that play NHL 20, so I don't think it would be hard to find people that want to play, but I need to know how it would work because I don't know anything about Twitch. It was suggested early on that Eddie and I moved this show to Twitch before we started on Facebook. Twitch is an absolute mess. I can't find it. Looks like it's like walking into a TJ Maxx. Everything's out of order. Everything's on the floor. It's just a disaster when you walk in there. So I have no idea how any of that works. So, but I'm certainly willing to learn, and I think it would be fun, but I need somebody that knows Twitch that could explain to me how we would do this. But it's something that could get us through the summer months because I don't think we're going to have anything else.
Don't worry, Jim.
Oh, I'm not worried. We'll always find something to talk about.
NHL season, shift by shift of this season recap.
Right. So that was one thing I need to mention. Now there's one other thing that I need to discuss with the underground, and this is where I need to mobilize the underground. I need the underground to do what the underground does. Okay. So I'm going to show you someone's YouTube page. Yeah. Because we're not going to mention names. Okay. Now I want everybody to take a look at this gentleman's YouTube page. Okay. Rusty Zotax. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a kid who goes to high school and has this YouTube page, and he does these videos, and he's very, very abusive to women. He's a 14-year-old kid, and he's nasty, and he's said some very, very hurtful things to someone that everybody in the underground knows and loves.
Okay.
He goes to high school with her. So all I would like the underground to do is watch some of his videos, some of the ones where it's just him talking, like this one I'm pointing to, where he's just one-on-one with the camera, or this one, okay? Just watch them, give him a thumbs down, and give him some kind of comment about how he treats women, things like that. Matt Morello, you are absolutely right. He looks like such a dick. Wait till you hear the things yes, a punchable face. Yes, we've said that as well. But I want you guys to just hear the things he says about women and how he speaks about people.
He needs to leave Cutter alone.
Don't get nasty. Don't do anything that's going to get yourself in trouble. Just comment on his videos, give him a thumbs down, tell him what a jerk he's being, because we're doing some things here, and I just want the underground to join in here and do what the underground does. All I ask is that you go to his page, watch his videos, and leave him a comment and tell him what an asshole he is. Send the priest to his house. You can report his channel if you'd like, absolutely. But I have a feeling that these videos are going to disappear soon. Because I don't think
you've taken steps.
Well, minor steps, but there's going to be bigger steps taken. This kid is the All-American at high school. He's the football player, the basketball player, the choir boy, the singer. He's in the plays. This is like
was
right, just like Costa was. He's everybody's All-American, and he's a piece of shit. And so we're slowly bringing it to people's attention, and I just figured I'd let the underground do what the underground does.
I'm going to take care of it.
Right. I don't want anybody bully. I don't want anybody to do anything that's going to get themselves in trouble, because it could get turned around on you. You're an adult. Remember that the kid's 14 and you're an adult. So don't do anything that's going to get yourself in trouble. But feel free to just leave an opinion comment. You know what I'm saying?
You're a douche.
I agree, but you don't need somebody showing up at your house, you're cyberbullying a kid, things like that.
Screw that.
I know.
I'm above the law.
Well, that is true. You are above the law.
I'm a mental
You're Judge Dredd. You are the law.
I am the law.
So, again, it's Rusty. Right. Thank you, Howie. It needs to be subtle. He's going down like Joe Frazier in Jamaica. Rusty Zotax. Go to his videos. Watch his videos. I have all of the really bad ones I've already saved to my computer because I'm afraid that he's going to quickly find out what's
views, though.
No, but it's a lot of kids from the school that are egging this guy on. Douchey friends. So I have a feeling that at some point he's going to take these videos down, but I've got them all already saved to my computer because this kid is going to find out that the internet is forever. Rusty trombone, you say?
I don't make enemies with you, Jim. Jeez.
You would never make enemies with me, Eddie. So, right. Rusty Zotax, and in the words of the immortal, in the words of the ISIS juice, I don't know. He's a fucking tool, Sean. He does his little stupid. I mean, when you listen to him, you listen to him for a minute, you'll just want to punch your fist through his face. I don't remember what I was saying now, but I lost my train of thought.
Don't worry, it's done.
Oh, and that's what I was going to say. In the words of the immortal Eric the Midget, you know what to do, Johnny. You know what to do. You remember when he tells that to Johnny Fratto? You know what to do. Ack. All right. Back to us. Yes. I appreciate you guys' help. You're always the best. Avery appreciates it. She gives a big wave to everybody.
Hello.
And she says hello to everybody.
Hello, and we'll rough this guy up.
Eddie said hello, and we'll rough this guy up.
Don't worry. I'll come up there and shake him into reality.
He'll be looking for his shine box.
Shine box, Rusty Trombone.
It's your fucking shine box.
All right, Jim.
That's it. That's all we got. We're done for now. Goodbye for now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, oh, wow. It's 8:45.
Yeah, we went an hour 45.
Well, look, I certainly hope that we are providing you, everyone, a distraction. I know you're giving me and Eddie a distraction. You're giving us, once a week a chance to just put the headphones on and forget about the outside world and just talk to you guys. And I hope we're bringing some laughs and some fun to you guys. So stay safe, be good. This is, we're going to come out of this soon. Things are going to start getting better. I think. Sounds like, they're going to start making some loosening of the restrictions and things like that. Just don't go crazy. Wash your hands, the whole bit, everything we've been telling you.
Okay. What else do I have to say? Yeah, stay loose. That's all I got to say. Stay loose.
Stay loose.
Stay loose, man. Hang loose.
Watch Jimmy Buffett concerts every Saturday night on Margaritaville.tv. If you like them. I know you don't like them. Some people might. Follow the E Street Shuffle if you like Bruce Springsteen. Follow them on Facebook. Sean, the lead singer, is doing some stuff every week to keep you occupied. If you play Halo, I'm JRS Flamingo on Xbox. I'll gladly play Halo with you. That's how we're getting by here.
Van Morrison shows.
Some Van Morrison shows.
I hate Van Morrison.
I'm not a fan of his either.
Good. Oh yeah, they want the cough sound effect.
Well, we might have to. Well, we're talking right through the ending, so I might have to keep.
Liam, how's everything going in Beijing? They got this thing under control or what? But I want to thank you all, man. You guys made me laugh. The comments in this chat room are absolutely hysterical. Sometimes I steal them, but for the most part, I just react to them.
They're fantastic. This group is the best.
I actually like Steely Dan. I hated them for years.
What's that?
Krista Meat brought up Steely Dan, and I said I used to hate Steely Dan, but now it's like 10 songs I like.
Yeah, I do like some of their songs.
Yeah.
I like Hey 19. And Dirty Work is a good song.
Yeah, the Dirty Work. That's one of the older ones, I think. Yes, Bob Groder is still alive. He's going by Bobby Groder. He's
Is
like
he?
a 65-year-old man going by the name Bobby, because every other count probably got.
Just him and Bobby Hull.
Yeah, him and Bobby Hull.
And Bobby Riggs.
Yes. All right.
I've
got a mambo. Where am I going? I don't know. Where am I going? I don't know.
Yes, Peter, we will be back next week. Probably Monday night, but we'll let you guys know.
We're going to go through the whole Glenn Sather era.
Oh,
no.
Would that be fun?
Yeah, no.
It would be fun.
It would be brutal.
It would be painful. Yeah. All right. We love you guys. We'll see you soon. Stay safe. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Cough sound effect.
Again?
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.